road that we see on UHAS campuses. Can you see the difference? That is one visible difference. Can someone identify it for us? You can't see the difference. And identify it for us. This. Want to give them a 360? Okay, so this is a standard parliamentary road. Okay, those of you who follow the UPA parliament, you see the type of roads we have. All standard parliamentary roads have this panel on it. And then you see that it's like the road continues to the back. Yes, for it's only choir roads that it ends right here. In choir roads, they have that kind of, I don't know what to say, but it's like they stretch the material some way around this place. It's only choir roads and then graduation roads that have that. But parliamentary roads is just like a garment, a normal garment. So please, I want to trigger your demons to allow your angels to do something for NAMSA. So in the next 2 years or 1 year, NAMSA should have a role for the speaker, soon to be deputy speaker, clerk, and chief justice. Yeah! You don't want to wear it throughout my presentation, I should wear it. You wear it. I should wear it. Okay. I want to be very brief on what I'll present on, because if you want to watch all the things that I can talk about, I just want to help you find a directorate. Is it a video or not? Go to Youth Impact Parliament. Then go to the playlist entitled Orientations. So at Orientations, you see my presentations over there. Okay, so I want to be very brief on my presentation to you, because you have other business to do. And you have questions to ask. So I will try and then just go straight to the point. And then just hit the issues, so that you can have adequate time to ask your questions. I hope you are all here. Your Lordship, don't mind me. Don't mind me. So I am Jones Amegashie-Viglo. It's important that I introduce myself. All the things that I started saying earlier on were just preambles to my presentation. Yes, the provincial secretary is here. I've been having some conversations with them. The executive director of Youth Impact Movement, speaker of Youth Impact Parliament, chairman of Parliamentary Correspondence Committee of USAG, and then also chairman of the National Association of Student Speakers Ghana. So I'm just here to just give you clarity on some procedures of legislatures, so that you can improve how you do your businesses here. And instead of talking about the theories should I say, instead of talking about them, I would like to just talk about them explicitly, just the surfaces of the matters, so that where you want clarity, you draw my attention. I don't know whether you will be writing your questions down. If you are the type that you feel by the time it is question time, you forget all your questions, you can interrupt me and I'll answer. But if you feel you can write your questions, and then when it is time for questions and answers, I'll answer, you can as well do that. Okay? Now, you see, just as Prezo and I have deliberated, that is how it's supposed to be. No one is an epitome of wisdom. No one is a knowledge of, is a library of knowledge. No one is a gazette of everything. No one can be jack of all trades. So I know some, you know some. We interact, we agree. I know some, but you know some people, when you are doing this, they feel you are disrespecting them, you are challenging them, and all that. I don't say it's necessary. These are the kind of conversations we should have. Let's share ideas. At the end, let us all agree on facts. when it is a fact, let us all agree that it is a fact. Opinions are different from facts. Opinions are like gnosis, but the fact remains the fact. So in making deliberations, let's try to identify facts from thoughts. Let's try to identify facts from opinions. So when you are making arguments in the house, some people become very sentimental. And when they become sentimental and you are talking to them with facts, they think it is your opinion and it does not follow. That is why we need someone to moderate the discussion. And the person moderating the discussion is the presiding officer. And kindly go to the slide called parliamentary procedures. And when the person presiding makes a ruling, even if you don't agree, let's accept the ruling. If you still have a diverse view, then you challenge that ruling. Okay? So, Prezo, in no way have we disrespected each other by having different opinions. Okay? In no way have we disrespected each other by having different opinions. In no way have we disrespected each other. By the end, we knew the facts from the opinions. And that is the beauty of deliberations. Why would we come here to have a deliberation if we know that whatever we say, your decision still stands? Who would like to come and see you take your decisions without hearing us? That is the question I want to ask. So if at the end of the day, whatever I say comes to pass, regardless of what you say, then there is no need for us to meet. There is no need for us to meet. So, on no way have any of us disrespected each other. By the end, we knew the facts that it is in the constitution that it is called chairperson. So the only thing to do is how can we go around it? We are only deliberating about the rules. Okay. So the function of the House is for us to reach a resolution. Look here. The deliberative function. As you know what? Parliament's basic function is lawmaking. I already said that. Okay. And I said that what? Deliberations. So when we come here and we are deliberating and we are unable to reach a resolution on a particular matter, we are not moving forward. I go and then I see SRC parliaments having deliberations for 21 hours on one matter and they are not moving forward. Number one, the person presiding is failing to coordinate the House to reach a decision. One of the best cherished things that you can have is at the end or within the shortest possible time, a decision is being made. So when the chairperson, because he doesn't want to protect anyone, this person should have their view. If you are listening to everyone, at the end will not make a decision. That is all. We listen to them bit by bit, and from a lot of views being expressed, we take a decision. Okay, so please, when there is a matter that you are discussing, you see, the person chairing always wants the decision to be reached. So when the decision is not being reached, she's getting frustrated. She's getting frustrated. That is the reason why we say the speaker is not an MP. It is because we don't want the speaker to have an interest. We don't want the speaker to have a voting right. When the speaker has a voting right, for you to have a vote, that is a decision. And when you have a decision, can be classified as what? An interest. That is why the Speaker of Parliament is not an MP. Regardless, he has an interest. By the end, his interest might not be like yours. Maybe his interest is that what? A decision you reach. It's still an interest. By the end, it's even from the fact that he sides with this, he sides with that. That is why the Speaker has to be neutral. So, what I want to say is that let's stop wasting so much time on one matter. When you express your interest, you express, then it is now bent on the person presiding to now help all of you reach a decision. Now, before the person can help you reach a decision, you ought to know the matter. And before the deliberation starts, you should have had some thoughts and then have an identification certification of the matters that will be raised. So it's true, the speaker does not take a decision. But you know, in reality, it's false. The speaker takes a decision. One of the decisions the speaker takes is through rulings. In parliamentary proceedings, if you don't want the speaker to take a decision, you move a motion. When the motion is being moved, the speaker ought to put a question. And when we get to voting, we'll talk about that. Let me speed up with this. Financial control. That is the budget that we bring. NAMSA budget, does it come here? It comes here. That is the financial control being executed. You see, there are some things that are approved at the level of the executive, and there are some things that are approved at the level of the legislature. You need to know the clear distinction between those. The budget is being brought to the House. Mind you, the budget is an estimation of the expenses NAMSA wishes to do. So that is why when the budget is being approved, they come along to account to you that this is what we have done with it, this is what we have done. That is called the income and expenditure. In Parliament of Ghana, is the audit report that comes. That is being debated upon. So the financial control comes in two ways: before expenditure, after expenditure. Please, when a budget is being brought, it is not for you to tell them that you can't spend this, you can't spend that. You know the forecasting that they have done. That is why you ask, how did you reach that price? They tell you. If you are not convinced it should be so, or you know the area, then you move a motion that part. And I'm chairperson, the amount being put there shouldn't be so. I am convinced that this amount will be adequate with all due respect. I move that out. This number or this amount be rather considered instead of the actual amount stated. Then you end the matter. But some people will come to be lamenting, they are not moving any motion. When you are not moving any motion, then the speaker makes a ruling. Yes. Some people will come and lament. You see, a motion is a proposal by someone. And when someone seconds, it is supporting that proposal. A decision is not made when a motion is moved and seconded. A decision is not made. It's like to say, Madam, I want to go there. Oh yes, me too, I want to go there. As a decision you take. You want to go does not mean you are going. So that is why the speaker puts up a question. Why do we call it a question? Because you need to ask a question to have an answer. Honourable members, motion moved and seconded. I now put the question to the House. All in favor of the motion say aye. Not in favor say nay. So that is a question being put to know what you want. And from hearing, you give it to either the ayes or the nays. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Therefore, this House has agreed to do this, has adopted this resolution. This House has approved this report. So a motion being moved and seconded is never a decision of the House. It is never a decision of the House. And when a motion is being moved and seconded, does not mean you cannot have flaws. Preliminary objection can be raised on the fundamental principles of that motion. And over there, the motion is eligible to be disqualified by the Speaker through a ruling. When the Speaker realizes that no, this motion indeed is not qualified to be admitted. Therefore, the Speaker can overrule that motion. Okay? Now, apart from, I'm even speaking the voice. I'm even skipping the slides. You know how we do? All the things over there in the head. When I want to follow the slides, I'll spend more time. So display a very nice picture. Display some parliament be like that so that we'll be watching that. So I just move forward and tackle the first one that a very nice schema is showing. Go forward. 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 I don't like this one. You like it? Now, let's another beautiful one. Forward. 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 Fantastic. I like this one. You don't like it? MPC white, is it green? Your desks are green, your own is also green. You know, this was how Parliament of Ghana was until this refurbishment in around 2015-2016. This was how Parliament of Ghana was. Those of you who were born in 2018, you don't know this one. I'm sure most of you are 1990s. So I don't think I'll use the slides. But I don't know. I think they oh, okay. So I think it's so as I was saying, moving a motion and seconding is not a decision of the House. Another way a decision is being taken, apart from the voice votes, is a ruling of the Speaker. Mind you, when we are not reaching a decision, the Speaker can rule, and the ruling of the Speaker becomes precedence, and is a decision of the House. That is how powerful a Speaker is. When we are not reaching a decision, it is becoming very controversial on the decision to be made. And we need to take a decision. We cannot defer a decision to another sitting of the House. The Speaker can rule on it. So a ruling of the Speaker can as well be quantified as a decision of the House. The second way of voting of the House is head count. You see, when the voice vote is being put, but at the end, the members are convinced that the nays had it, but you claim the ayes had it. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. All they need to do is to challenge you. And when they challenge you, we go to the second model of voting. The second model of voting is head count, as I said. Head count is the open type of what? Voting. Because that one, we know who voted the ayes or who voted the nays. Okay? So the head count can be done either by you raising your hand, or it can be done by you standing up, or it can be done by you moving to sections or designations of the venue for you to be counted by the tellers. It can also be referred to as division. In Parliament of UK, they have something called division. And division is the open type of voting, which is also called head count. Because in division, you have to go and pass through a door. If you go and pass through the door of the ayes, it means you have voted ayes. Pass through the door of the nays, you voted nay. Okay, but then you know who you are voting for. So that is being used when it is not a controversial matter or a sensitive matter. But when it's a sensitive matter, we go to the next type of voting model, which is secret balloting. Secret balloting, no one will know whether you voted the ayes or the nays. So these are the three voting methods of the House. Three ways of which the House can take a decision, in addition to the ruling of the Speaker, making 4 ways. So these are the 4 ways a decision can be taken. So, Madam Speaker, I know you have been doing some things and then you thought you were taking a decision, but you are not taking any decision. You are just hanging in the air, but you are still executing. So please, from today, change. Okay. So, moving on to the next item that I want to talk about. I stated clearly what motions are. As I said, motions are proposals and then it is being seconded. It is being seconded and then a decision is being taken. You see, interventional science, UHAS has your interventional science, you always raise something on top of it. Left to me alone, as a speaker, it is very difficult when you use something to cover what exactly you are doing. In HTU, we have 4 points of information, points of correction, points of contribution or follow-up, and then points of order. You know, when you put your arms over it, most of the times you see people, they are holding a book and then they are doing like this. How can the speaker see the international sign that you are putting there? Sometimes other members don't even put up the correct international sign. Now you ask, why was that even introduced? You see, number 1, when you are a speaker, in order to best coordinate a deliberation, you need to have just a hint of what the honourable member wishes to say. Now, you cannot know what is in the person's head, but at least you can know the direction of the submission the person wishes to talk. Because if you are chairing and then anytime they want to speak now, then they want to speak. But we want the debate to go in the flow. So when someone comes with Akodam wine, when he passes through the stream, he wouldn't splash that much. But when he comes with a bulldozer, the entire screen will be shaking. The bulldozers are the point of orders. And then our codam points are what? The points of information. You see, so in order for the speaker to know let's say, a hint of what you are coming to say, that is why the international signs were reintroduced. Someone will ask, Parliament of Ghana, you don't see them raising their hands. You don't see them raising their hand. But are you aware they have a console? Every MP has a console. That is that thing that you see in front of them. And on the console, they indicate whether it is points of information, points of correction, a contribution, or points of order. So whenever they press it, the speaker sees, and then you can call whoever wants to speak, and then you turn on the mic. So it's being used over there. So those of you who don't know the right one to use, please, from today change. Because you are affecting the flow. Now, number one, why do we have this interventional signs? As I said, point of order is what? When you feel the house is not in order, an honorable member is not doing something the right way, what the person is using is called an unparliamentary language, and you want the person to God, apologize to the house, something that is not basically in order or in accordance with the law or with issues of ethics. You use the point of order. Now the follow-up is you want to contribute to the same subject matter that is being discussed. What is a subject matter? A subject matter is a focal point in a topic. Right now we are talking about budget. In the budget, we are currently talking about a role for the speaker. We are all talking about the role of the speaker, and then you want to talk about something else in the budget. You take us out of the entire flow of the deliberation. You want to finish what you are talking about. So what? You follow up, you do the follow-up sign, which is in one, you are indicating about you want to talk about what? The role. So for the entire deliberation to flow, the speaker will want to admit any further contribution on the subject matter than a new information or something else that is going to change the direction of the entire debate. That is why most of you want to follow up on the thing, but you are using a wrong interventional sign, and the speaker is not calling you, you are getting angry. You are not showing the right sign. And some of you, they call you on points of order, you are doing correction. Now, the point of correction is what? A fact has been laid on the floor, and you want to correct that fact. You know and you have all the evidence that the fact being laid by the person speaking on the floor is inaccurate. So, per the information you have, you want to correct it that no, that is not so. That is not use points of correction. Although in the order of precedence, the follow-up comes before points of correction, the speaker can as well take a correction. Because what? We don't want the house to be misled. So that is correction. And a point of information is when you want to introduce a new subject matter under that same item on the other paper. So these are the interventional signs. Please know how to use them. It helps the flow of the debate. Now let me talk about the issues. You see, if you have the opportunity to preside before, you understand the job of the speaker. Some of you raise your hand, the speaker is not coming, you are getting angry. Some of the cheering skills that are notable is that what? You protect the minority, because already the majority are already bullying the minority. People who speak more are called less. People who speak less are called more. That is the natural way of coordinating the house. Or if you allow someone to talk too much, you bully the other members. That is why sometimes when you are talking too much, you cause the other people. So if you are talking too much in the house and the speaker is not calling you, it's because he wants to give opportunity to others who have not yet spoken. Or when they are always giving you the opportunity to speak, and then the others are not giving the opportunity, they will feel hot. The speaker doesn't care about them. But sometimes also, the reason why you are not hearing is that we are talking about rope and you want to talk about something else, bringing information. So that although you are yet to speak, she cannot call you because it will not help the flow of the debate. Okay, it cannot help the flow of the debate. Now, another thing to note is that, you see, some of you don't like respecting the speaker. Some of you are very loud. When the matter is so much tied to your heart, you want to express your entire, your heart out. But mind you, this is Parliament. This is not Makula Market. Things are done by law and rules. That is why we have rules. And when you break these rules, the speaker will put you to order. Now, another thing to note is that you see, when everyone wants to talk plenty, when are we going to give? When they give you the opportunity to speak, you want to talk for 10 minutes. You want to talk for 10 minutes. So you realize that when it gets to a time, the speaker will say, "Honourable member, in conclusion, in conclusion, in conclusion." Because when you alone are speaking too much, it becomes so boring. That is why we always ask that you always hit the point. Hit the point and stop beating around the bush. Because when you are always talking too much, it gets so boring. Unless you are coming to open, with an opening statement, then you have to open the floor with a lot of facts. So for me, when I was an MP, anytime I stand to speak, I ensure I speak within a minute or two. So when I speak very less, anytime I want to speak, I'm not giving opportunity because they know I'm coming to speak less. Now some of you, when they give you opportunity, you will talk for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but at the end of it all, you have not moved the motion. You have not tackled anything. It's just lamentations upon lamentations. How are you going to help the flow of the debate? You're not going to help the flow of the debate. So these are some of the technical matters that I'm drawing your attention to. Now, it is already 4 and my time virtually has elapsed. But let me just quickly tackle these factual things and start to take the questions. So another paper is the business to be transacted for a city. Those and the proceedings are basically the major decisions being taken and then attendance of members. Official report is parliamentary debate. Word to word, whatever is being said on floor is being compiled to official report. In your house, what is being called minutes is a compilation of the votes and proceedings and then the official report. Agenda is in Parliament of Ghana, but Parliament of Ghana has sittings and meetings. Meetings span within 1 to 3 months. And within meetings, we have sittings. So they have an agenda for a meeting. The agenda includes all the bills to be passed, the private motions being moved, all the questions being filed, the statements to be presented, the resolutions to be presented, the constitutional instruments, the executive instruments don't come to Parliament. The legislative instruments in the past, all of them have been put in the agenda for meeting. Legislative instruments and constitutional instruments. The difference is that constitutional instruments are laws that are being passed by bodies clearly identified in the Constitution. That is why the Electoral Commission brings CI. But when it is a law to be passed by, let's say, the RTI Commission, the RTI was formed through an act of parliament. That is a legislative vote. So if you bring any law, it comes as a legislative instrument. As you know, the executive instrument is basically a law coming from the executive, such as state of emergencies and then public holidays and all those. Those are the executive instruments. Bills and acts. As you know, when a law is to be introduced, it comes to the House as a bill, and there are procedures for passing it, and then after its endorsement or presidential assent, it becomes what? An act. Standing orders. Standing orders are the rules of the House, and the Constitution is the regulation of the entire organization. So, I already spoke about voice vote, plenary sessions. See, what we are having here is plenary sessions. I don't know whether the General Assembly has committees. Committees of the House are different from committees of the association. People actually have those confusions. You see, that is one problem the UHAS SRC has caused. They wrote committee and 19 select committees. When you become a infantry, you ought to be part of one select committee and one standing committee. And then rules, debates rules and no debates rules, there are a lot, and I think we'll tackle them later. Content of Parliament. You cannot come to the House and lie to the House or deceive to the House. Anytime you do that, you are in contempt of the House. That is for you to note. Basically, I've dealt with all necessary things. But before I end my presentation, we will start taking your questions and answers. Let me speak on these two things: rope, mace, and gavel. the robe, as I said, it is an identification of some peculiar office holders. Usually the robe is being worn by the neutral people. All of you here have voting rights except the speaker, the clerk, and when the deputy speaker is chairing. So most of the times, just the basic knowledge of the robe being introduced in Parliament is to identify people who don't have voting rights and to give them a special belonging. So if you want to count MPs, simple, don't count the people in the robe. So that is why it is essential. And then sitting arrangements. You know we can move different sitting arrangements. This is classroom arrangements. We have opposing benches. We have Parliament of Ghana households. The semi-arc. This is the semi-arc. Semi-circle rather. Then we have arc as well. We have circle. Different types of sitting arrangements. So please, the rope is very important. Now, another reason of the rope is what? For these people to have attention. As I'm wearing this, your eye is on me. Your eye is on me because of the gold. Your eye is on me because of the gold. It's very nice. So your eye will be on me. That is why the robe is being worn. So it makes no sense if the speaker's robe is not nice. Because if it's not nice, their eyes will not be on you. That is why speaker's robe is supposed to be nice. So if you come to the Parliament, my robe is the nicest of all. And it's the most obvious. If you look at it, it's obvious that robe is for the speaker. Yes. Unlike the clerks in the Parliament, if the coloring is not starting from here, then it's being worn by a clerk. But if the color is starting from here, it's being worn by a speaker or a deputy speaker. If you go to our Facebook page, you see our robes there. There are readings onto the robes. You see there are two markings here. So publicity has 1, operations has 2, finance has 2, operations has 3, and the clerk has 4. They will read meaning onto how the robes are being sewn. Okay. Now the mace. The mace is the authority of the house. When the mace is there, it means the house is in session. But sometimes some student parliaments have been doing staff instead of mace. A staff can be held by someone during proceedings. But for a mace, it's in front of the clerk's table. And the mace is usually 4 feet, 5 feet. But you see them doing 7 feet, 8 feet. That is not mace, that's a staff. That's a staff. Okay. The last one is a gavel. The gavel is the authority of the speaker. The gavel is being used when a decision is to be taken or a decision is being taken or to put the house order. That is when the gavel is used. That is why at the end of every decision, you see the speaker banging the gavel. So all in favor say, I am in favor, the house agreed on this and that, and he bangs the gavel. It means that the decision has been taken. So NAMSA, try and get a mace, try and get a gavel. And then the last factor, that's why they said, well, if you don't know, ask. I was going to make a statement, but it's good at that. So, Madam Chairperson, that is the entire presentation, 56 slides, being summarized in 30 minutes. Thank you very much.
Amegashie-Viglo. So please, we will now open the forum for questions. Any question, if you noted any question down before his presentation, we can ask.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Gregory, Health and Education Committee Chairperson. Okay, so I jotted 3 points here, but before that, I will be grateful. I'm Gregory, the Chairperson for Health and Education Committee. Okay, so like I said earlier, I jotted 3 points here, but before that, I will be grateful if our Right Honorable Ms. Amegashie will please go over the interventional science for us again before I proceed. So I will use which one to use. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chair, let me quickly go over it. Point of information. one finger, and you have to raise it above your head. You see. Point of information is introducing a new subject matter on the item on the order paper being discussed. Point of correction is 2 fingers. Point of correction is to correct a fact being laid on the floor. When a fact that is being laid on the floor is wrong and you want to correct it, you use point of correction. If you also want, you see, in correcting a fact is correcting an honorable member. So to correct someone on the fact is also point of correction. Point of contribution or follow-up is to contribute to an already existing subject matter being deliberated upon. You want to contribute to the matter that you are talking about. You want to add your take on it. That is when you use the point of contribution, obviously, to contribute. And the last one is point of order, to pose an honorable member to order for not adhering to the rules of the House. When the House is out of order, or when someone is using an unparliamentary language and you want to call for him to apologize to the House and withdraw the statement or word he used while speaking. Thank you very much.
The chair of the House. Okay, so thank you very much, right, Honorable Minister. So I jotted 3 points. So my first point would be with regards to the ERSAs. So our the highest decision body of the association, as to the best of my knowledge, is parliamentary sitting. Okay, and anytime we have an issue that is above us, we make reference to the SRC. And if it's beyond the level of SRC, we then make reference to the Parliament of Ghana. So thank you very much for some of the points or the corrections you pointed out. So I think with regards to our group and the rest, we were actually copying from the SRC. So I think, like you said, when you were at HTU, you were able to make changes at the SRC level, and then it descended down to the department or the association level. So I think we also enact the same thing here. Okay, so that's my first point. The second point is about the wearing of the robe. So it's a good thing that we have our former president here. So if I'm mistaking anything, he can call me to order, and I stand to be corrected as well. Okay, so I don't remember we having any parliamentary sitting where it was mentioned that only on special occasions, example could be handing over that the speaker or the chairperson should use a robe. So if she made mention of that, we'll be grateful she can clarify that. So wouldn't be like the parliament has decided that it should be only on special occasions, unless of course maybe she had a backdoor conversation with maybe an executive or any former executive. That's my second point. And then the second one too is the speaker or the chairperson name that we are trying to argue about. As I said earlier, the decision or the highest decision making body of the association is the parliament. So I think, like you said, it would be appropriate that we all agree. So an example is this: the name we are arguing over, the speaker and then the chairperson. We raise a motion, support and pass it, and then agree on it that maybe the name should be speaker or the name should be chairperson. Then we now just forward it to the chairperson or let's say the chief justice that this is what the parliament has agreed on. So during your parliamentary review, please add it. We shouldn't make it look like we are just suggesting to the chief justice committee to decide for us. Thank you very much.
That would be great. When we say speaker, it does not only go with parliament. There can be a speaker for a general assembly. There can be a speaker for legislative assembly, a speaker for legislative council, a speaker for senate, So when we say speaker, it's not always that it must end with parliament. So when you are making the change, ensure that you only change the speaker and not the General Assembly. It doesn't have to be parliament or others. You can still be speaker of the General Assembly. So thank you very much.
Honorable Greg, concerning your second question, said how did I come to know of it that the role is only known as special conditions? So it wasn't because someone told me already by observation. Since I joined this General Assembly from level 100, I could never observe the role being one. I stand to be corrected. I've never observed the speaker, the chairperson for the General Assembly, like wear a role. Yes. So per my observation, and the only time they brought that role out was during an interview. So per observation, that's the conclusion I came to. Thank you. Honorable rights.
The chair else.
Yeah.
I would like to answer the youth parliament speaker a question. So as part of your slide, I observed the earlier part, the incidental functions of parliament. Yeah. So the second point you made was oversight role of government and citizens. So can you clarify that for us? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. When we are talking about oversight role of the legislature, we are talking about, in a way, more, not really supervising, but more to ensure that the executive and the other arms do not go contrary to the general principles of the nation and the Constitution. How is oversight role being performed by the legislature? That is why the Constitution directs the President to subject his appointees designate for ministerial and deputy ministerial positions, Chief Justice and Justices of the Supreme Court in Appeal, Auditor General, if I'm right, I don't know, I'm not sure Auditor General is part, but some key appointments are subjected to the approval of Parliament. That is why the Constitution directs that the President presents his address to Parliament or to the people through Parliament for Parliament to debate. That is why the Constitution directs that some decisions of the executive is sent to Parliament for approval. That is why the budget is also presented to Parliament so that Parliament can control the expenses of the President. So the oversight role here is just clearly more like to ensure, to put the executive on track. The Constitution says so, go like this. You are the people who make the law, and these are the laws you have enacted. President, do so. And when you come to us, we will receive you. If you are not going well, we will tag you and we will talk about it. So the oversight role is just to ensure that it is on the right path. These are the oversight rules. And some of them are captured in the Constitution, some of them are not. Some of them are per conventions, some of them are per laws of Parliament. So that is basically the oversight rule. Yes. Oversight responsibility, something that is not to Parliament, but other bodies. It's an oversight.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor.
Yeah. Right? Thank you very much. But as so far as you mentioned Parliament, but as per our Constitution, we are running the General Assembly and the structure is a bit stiff. As per the structure, I form part of the Legislative Association. So it's a bit different from the parliamentary structure as in the parliamentary. But I will also take note of the things you said, and then I will also suggest to the executive committee to take note of them. during the review, the prime minister will make further.
Thank you. Let me say this. People have the notion that Parliament, the structure of Parliament, is different from General Assembly. Let me put it to you that it's just the name. Okay? It's just the name. The fact remains that the composition of every house is different from the other. How you name it is different. Parliament is only the prominent name. Okay? So, look impact Parliament and UHAS Parliament. The compositions are different. But the underlying factor is that they are legislative bodies. Okay? So please, I want us to stop that notion that General Assembly is different from Parliament. It's the same thing. They are all legislative bodies, but they can have different compositions. So the Parliament of South Africa, Parliament of UK and Ghana, they are all parliaments, but their compositions are different. Okay? On the side of the constitution stating that you are a member of the General Assembly, it's a part of the practice of the Constitution. Maybe they didn't know that it is not a good practice to bring someone with a judicial function or judicial authority to be part of the House, especially if the person is a different body. Okay? Parliament can have a judicial committee, but it is different from the judicial council itself. Taking for example, when you go to the United States